Hey guys, it's Amy Deb, the Keto Queen. I hope you're having a great day. Let me clean this off just a little bit here. I was outside at the pool, so it was hot, sweaty, and wet. So guys, I hope you're having a great day. It is July the 3rd, the day before the holiday. And we got to come home early from work today. So Ricky and I did. I ran out, jumped in the pool, got some water aerobics done. And Ricky did a little bit of work and had to run to town to get some things we forgot for our family festivities for tomorrow. And I just jumped out and I want to do a fast, delicious dinner. If you guys are here, let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know what you're doing for dinner tonight. Guys, look what I've got as our side dish. This is one of our favorite side dishes, and it's Brussels sprouts. Like me and Ricky, we love to keep it simple. So we love to roast our vegetables. This is so easy. All you do is take your fresh Brussels sprouts, cut them in half. Of course, you've washed them. Cut them in half, put them cut side down, salt and pepper, heavily drizzle with avocado or olive oil. That's it. You just put these in the oven on 350 and let them roast for about 20, depending on how big they are. These are small. I mean, the smallest ones I've seen in a long time. I'll probably roast these for about 20, 15 minutes. They'll be done. As soon as you can put a fork in them, they're ready. So we're going to put these in the oven while we make our pork chops. We're making a new dish tonight. We're making a new dish, and I'm super excited about it. It is a pork chop in a basil cream sauce. Like, I love basil, I love parsley, I love garlic. You guys know these things about me. If you're new to the page, I'd love for you to say new here, so I'll know who's here that's brand new, that's never seen me before. Guys, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Amy, and we're gonna start off right now with a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of avocado oil. Now, I like to use avocado oil because it's actually made to be used at boiling temperatures. Olive oil really is not made to be used that way. You can do it if you want to. I used to. I just swapped over to avocado oil for about a year ago. So we're gonna melt our tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of avocado oil together, and we're gonna go ahead and start cooking our pork chops, and we're gonna move them out of the way to make our cream sauce. So guys, thank you for following. I really appreciate you guys. I would love to know who's new here. And while we're waiting on this to get hot, I'll just introduce myself in case we've got some new friends. I hope we've got some new friends. If you guys have been following me and you've found a value here, please hit the share button, and say, hey, watch her. Because I want to meet new people, and I want to show new people how easy it is to cook delicious low-carb or even keto meals. And that's what I love to do at my house. So we're making a pork chop in a basil cream sauce. Doesn't that sound delicious? And just to introduce myself really quick, my name is Amy, Dove like the chocolate bar. And I'm from Jackson, Tennessee, and I've been living here pretty much my whole life, actually in a little town outside of Jackson. And I live here with my husband, Ricky, and my 2 grown adult children have moved out. So we're new empty nesters. My daughter got married in October. Her name is Haley, and she is an amazing daughter and best friend. And my son, who is also an amazing young man, he bought a property last year, and he moved out. So we are here alone, me and Ricky and the puppy dogs. And I love our little fur babies. We've got 3 now. We've got 2 Yorkies and a miniature Schnauzer, and they are my loves at the moment. I love Ricky, but I love that cuddly love from a puppy is just different than anything else. So I love my fur babies always. And I live here in town, and I'm blessed enough to be able to live close to my family. So my mom and dad live across from a pond. So there's a pond in between our homes. And my daughter lives 5 miles down the road. My son lives literally diagonal to us on his own property. And we get to work together too. So we have a company and we work together. My mom and my son and my daughter and my husband and my aunt. Plus we have 28 total, I say family members. So our family members. So we have a huge family. We get to work together every day, and we love to travel. We love to have fun together. So we work together. We travel together. We play in the backyard together, in the pool. Like, I just love my family. And if you're looking for a place where you can find encouragement, inspiration, low carb recipes, and just a cheerleader for you and your health, you're in the right place. Follow the Keto Queen and share this video if that sounds like something you're looking for yourself, or if you've ever found any value on this page, hit the share button for me. I love to cook, and I do live videos. So sometimes I talk too much, sometimes I talk too fast, sometimes the dogs are barking, sometimes Ricky walks by me and poops. Not poops, poots, not poops, but poots. And it's okay. We are a real live family. And I can't edit even that what I just said. I can't edit it. This is live. And my live videos are me cooking or talking some type of inspirational something to you. And if it's what you're looking for, stay. And I hope you find some great things here. So we're going to go ahead and start with our pork chops. We're making a pork chop with a basil cream sauce tonight. So I've got a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of avocado in my skillet. I'm going to go ahead and put my pork chops in. Yes, I just touched it with my bare hands. So now I got to wash my darn fingers. I should have used a fork. Now we are going to go ahead and salt and pepper our pork chops. We're going to salt and pepper them really, really good. And I'm going to wash my hands. And we're going to sear these for about 4 minutes on each side. Now, I've got some semi-thin pork chops. They're not super thin, but they're not thick. And you want to cook these all the way through. So we're going to cook them for about 4 minutes on each side after I season them up really well. Salt and pepper goes a long way, guys. I love salt and pepper. And as far as salt, I know there's a lot of people that ask me a lot of questions about salt because when you start researching keto and low carb, it tells you to change out your white table salt to a pink Himalayan salt or a real sea salt. I also agree with that. I use, personally, Redmond's real salt that is mined in the U.S. in Utah. And I love that salt, but you do want to replace that white table salt with a real sea salt or a pink Himalayan salt because of the minerals. White table salt often is stripped of its minerals. It's just, it's just stripped of the good things we need. So switching over to a pink Himalayan salt or a real sea salt has the minerals that we need for those electrolytes and just for good health. So change out that white table salt. Just wash my hand real fast. Keep me careful with these fingers. I got to throw this out and wash my hands. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're just going to, I'm not going to say flash fry, but we're going to cook our pork chops. Oh, I still got my water on, hang on. Still got my water thing on my watch. I just unlocked it. Set a timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, counting down.
So I'm going to cook these 4 minutes on each side because they're semi-thick. And while we're waiting on those to cook, I'm going to go ahead and cut up an onion. Now we're not going to use this whole onion. This one's a pretty good size, pretty healthy. I'm going to do half of this onion. And we're going to chop up half of a small onion, or you can use a whole onion if you want to. I like to chop mine up pretty fine, but we're going to use this in our sauce. So you're going to want an onion and you're going to want some garlic. You can use garlic powder, or you can do like me and use garlic powder and fresh minced garlic. Completely up to you guys. I'm sharing my recipe. This is actually the first time I'm cooking this, so we will see how delicious it is later. And if it is delicious, we will be adding this to the recipe blog for us to use over and over and over. So let me know if you guys are new here. If you're new to my page, I would love to know. If you're new or if you've just been watching in a very short time. And I'm just going to chop these onions up while we're waiting on this first 4 minutes of our pork chops. Onions have amazing flavor, so I love to use onions in most all of my sauces and dishes because they just adds a really great flavor to pretty much any recipe. A lot of people ask me where do I come up with all these recipes. Some things I just make up on my own out of the clear blue sky, and other things I look for recipes myself just like you would, and I find things and I'm like, man, that's a lot of ingredients. I bet it would taste good like this, and then I change recipes up to make them either simpler or with less ingredients. So there's nothing wrong with that. You can find recipes even on my page and decide you want to change out certain seasonings for something different, or maybe add something that I didn't, and you've created something new. So I love to recipe shop. I love to make up my own stuff, but I also like to look at stuff and be like, man, why in the world is there 12 ingredients? Can't we minimize that? Can't we knock it down? Can't we change out this seasoning for this? Like, I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of seasonings and recipes that I never would use more than that one time. And I'm just not interested in spending money on something I'm only going to use one time in my life. So I like to use a lot of the same seasonings, and people will say, don't all your food taste the same? No. it doesn't taste the same. When you change up the amount of seasonings or add something new like basil, it completely changes the whole sauce that you might have made three nights ago. All right, so I've got a little bit of onion here. It looks really good. It smells really good. Thankfully, it's not made me cry. And we're going to use that in just a few minutes. Let me grab a fork for these pork chops because we're fixing to flip them over. Now, I've got these cooked about on medium to high heat. And you know my stovetop gets really, really hot really fast. So as we're waiting on this, I'm just going to look and see if you guys have any questions for me tonight. I hope you guys have had a great holiday week so far. We're going to enjoy the day off tomorrow. Oh, yes. Had to tune in for a new dish. Yes, Debbie. How are you today? Hey, Becca. Rebecca, how are you doing? Unstuffed cabbage rolls. Yum. I love unstuffed cabbage rolls. Hey, Barbara. How are you? I see you guys. Hey, Karen. Happy 4th to you as well. My dad is feeling better today, Miss Barbara. Thank you so much for asking. Him and my mom went to get some dinner, so I know he's feeling good because he got out of the house. And hopefully he'll be here tomorrow. Hey, Kay, how are you? Mary Scott, I recently become a type 2 diabetic, and I need some recipes that are low carb and safe for diabetics to eat. Well, Mary, welcome, because all the dishes I make are 100% great for diabetics. And I would love to send you some getting started tips. If you're new to my page and you would like to get some getting started tips, set a timer for 4 minutes. All right, I'm going to flip these over and set it for 4 more minutes. My timer just went off. And we'll look and see if they're done. I might want to do it a couple more minutes on each side because we're done with the pork chops. We'll be adding them back later. If you need some getting started tips, put getting started in the comments. Oh, yes, Joan's a consistent follower. I sure appreciate you too, Joan. Let's see. All right, perfect, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and I would love to know if you're new here. If we don't see any people that's new in these comments, guys, I need you to share these videos because we want to keep teaching people how easy it is to really switch things up and create a much better, healthier lifestyle. So make sure you're sharing these videos because the only way that this page will continue to grow is if you guys are sharing so that we can encourage more people together. So just share the videos if I've ever been any help to you. We have salt and peppered these pork chops, and they're looking good. We're going to cook these all the way through and move them over to another dish. So let me give me a dish. And then we are literally going to start on our sauce. Our side dish is in the oven. We're doing roasted Brussels sprouts with salt and pepper and avocado oil. All up in the way. All up in the way. I'm going to move that salt and pepper out of the way because we're not going to need that again. Just waiting on these pork chops and we'll move them over. So I've got my oven on 350 for those Brussels sprouts. Just roasting vegetables is the easiest side dish you can do. It's so delicious. Roast every vegetable. Tastes really great if you just got them salt and peppered really well with some avocado oil. We love to roast broccoli, cabbage, asparagus, Brussels sprouts. I said broccoli already, didn't I? Trying to think off the top of my head. We're always stuffing stuff in that oven because it's just a fast, easy, delicious side dish that you can just let it do its thing while you're cooking up the rest of your meal. So for this dish, we are going to be using some basil because it is a basil cream sauce. So you guys know I love my little fresh pouches here. You get them in the produce section at the grocery store. I got some basil over here, and I also have some parsley over to the side. We're going to use parsley at the very end. I also have some fresh garlic. I also have garlic powder. And we're going to need some beef broth and heavy cream. So as soon as these pork chops finish up, we're going to add our onion. And we're going to cook these onions until they really brown up. We want those onions to be really good and brown, almost caramelized. Like if you really cook them, they'll turn into caramelized onions. So we're going to get them really, really great brown in the same butter and avocado oil we're using for the pork chops. Yes, I do, Brenda. Sometimes I like to do the vegetables in the air fryer, but rarely I do. Most of the time for my air fryer, I cook my meats, my protein. Every once in a while, I'll do a protein vegetable mix, which is on my menu for this week. We're going to do a steak and pepper, like a peppered steak in the air fryer. So yes, I do love some vegetables in there, but I normally just use the oven as I'm using the stove top for my proteins. You certainly can. So do you guys got big plans for the holiday? I'm just curious what you guys are doing tomorrow. We're having the family over, so my in-laws and my cousins and my aunts and uncles and my kids, so we're all going to be hanging out, and some friends. We're all going to be hanging out in the backyard in the pool, and we're just going to do finger food, so everybody's bringing something. I have no clue what they're bringing, but they're bringing something. I'm going to be making a pizza dip, so I'll be doing a video tomorrow, sometime mid-morning, on a pizza dip I'm going to put together, and it's so delicious. So easy, and we love it. Ricky absolutely loves it. And I just use sausage, but you can do any kind of pizza that you would put on a pizza. So you can do onions, you can do vegetables, you can do any kind of meat. But I just keep it super simple, because you guys know I'm super simple. I'm gonna do, I'll do 1 more minute. Cook. I put cook. Set a timer for 1 minute. I guess I was gonna tell it to cook a minute. Oh yeah, you see them walking around my feet in here? They stay up under my feet in the kitchen because they think I'm gonna drop something. But I rarely drop anything on the floor. They got high hopes. All right, so we're fixing to move these pork chops over to a dish, and then we're gonna start making our sauce. So literally as fast as this is cooking, my side dish will be ready, and dinner's gonna be done in just a few minutes. And Ricky's hungry. I got off work early, so I was in the backyard doing some water aerobics, and a friend came over. And we were talking and chatting and laughing and having a good time. And I was like, oh my gosh, Ricky's probably starving. So I ran in the house with my bathing suit covered and just started getting busy. Thank you. I sure appreciate it. I love my pups very much. They're my sweet babies. All right, this is fixing to go off, and I'm going to move them over. Now, one thing about your pork, you know, when you're cooking it in this high heat with that butter and avocado oil, it's going to continue to cook on your plate. Now, it's not going to, like, cook for 20 minutes, but it's going to continue to cook, because all that heat's on the inside. So you never want to overcook. If you need a kitchen thermometer, get one. They're like you can get them for a couple of bucks at Bed Bath & Beyond or any kind of home store. A kitchen thermometer is pretty cool. I'm going to put these pork chops right over to the side, and then we're going to go ahead and make our sauce. Now, I forgot to do something. Let me go grab something from Ricky. I'm going to go get his phone and see if he'll let me do some videos while he's watching TV. So we're just going to add that onion. Now, that looks like a lot of onion. It's okay. It's going to be great. You can do less onion if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and just let it cook up. We're going to cook this until it starts to brown. We want to do really good and brown. All right, I'm going to try to do a little bit of video here too so I can make a reel later. So we got those pork chops good and done. And now we're cooking up these onions. Let me get me a spoon. Come on, oh yeah. So we have these onions. We're just sauteing them in that same bit of butter and avocado oil that was left. And we're going to cook them until they really start to soften and turn brown. The very next thing we're going to do as these soften and turn brown is we're going to add some minced garlic. So I actually have some fresh garlic we're going to use. If you want to, you can just do garlic powder. Completely fine. I'm doing both because we like garlic, and this really is going to make the sauce taste fantastic. All these seasonings together. I mean, guys, think about this. We've got the onion, the aroma from the onion, the taste of that browned onion, that cooked onion. We're going to have some garlic in there. We're going to have some basil in there. Like, we're going to have all the good stuff. So, to me, you really don't need to skimp on seasonings. So, if you are going to use garlic powder, you might want to use more than what I'm calling for, because I am also adding the fresh garlic. So, while these onions are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and mince these garlics up. Get this out of the way. Now, we'll get onion left. So, I have just fresh garlic that's already peeled and ready to go. I'm not going to add it until my onions are done. And I'm only using 4 pork chops. You can do 4 to 6 pork chops. You probably could even do 8 for as much as I'm cooking. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit because that eye really gets hot. You want to make sure those onions don't burn, which is why we're not putting the garlic in there yet. That garlic does not need to burn. You only keep it in there for about 30 seconds. And then you add your next ingredients, which we're going to be doing in just a minute. Guys, if this meal sounds good, give me some hearts. I love this little fresh garlic press. Just used it yesterday. All you do is rinse it out when you're done with some hot water. Easy to wash, easy to use. What you doing, Frankie? So soon. What you doing, little Frankie? So soon. What you doing, my little baby? You trying to find something? There ain't nothing over there. All right, we're gonna stir these onions up. Fix to check and see if you guys have any questions for me. If you do, you're welcome to put them in the comments because I'm going to read your questions as we're cooking up. Can you guys see that? I'm so sorry. I thought you could see it good. Let's see. Yeah, it's a pool cover up. Sorry, guys. I just jumped out of the pool and came straight in the house and started cooking. Ooh, I'm going to try chicken with this sauce. Ooh, yes, that would be really, really good. Chicken instead of pork? Absolutely. I love chicken and I love pork. You probably could, I wonder what it would taste like with ground beef patties. I don't know. I love trying new things. All right, and we're just cooking these onions up. They're already turning a really pretty yellow. We want them to really cook down to brown. We want them to be really good and cooked. You can call it caramelized if you want to. We want them really good and soft and brown. It looks good. I'll go ahead and open up my fresh pouch here of basil. We're not ready for it yet, but it's coming. That smells good. So what are you guys doing for dinner tonight? I'm curious what you're doing for dinner tonight. A lot of people are not cooking because it's the day before the holiday. If Ricky would have said, hey, you know what, I feel like this, I might have given in. I don't know why, but I probably would have. That looks really good. My husband would have loved it, but he passed away. Oh, I'm so sorry. 3 months ago, Bonnie. Prayers for you. I'm so sorry. Prayers for you in this moment. All right, what are you guys doing for dinner tonight, and what are your plans for tomorrow? While we're cooking, let's chat if you don't have any questions. If you have questions, put them in the comments. Egg roll in a bowl. Yum, Wendy. That sounds amazing. Hey, Stacy, we just are really getting started. We're making a pork chop with a basil cream sauce. So far, we cooked our pork chops with salt and pepper. That's all we did. We cooked them with salt and pepper, and we cooked them in 1 tablespoon of butter and 1 tablespoon of avocado oil. The next thing we did is chopped up a small onion, and we are sauteing that onion in that same butter and oil, and we're getting them brown. So we're really getting them really soft and brown. And we're fixing to move on to the next step, so you haven't missed much. And guys, we're already almost done. Which is why I love to cook these amazing meals. I can be in and out of the kitchen, having a wonderful tasting meal with my husband, and not having that fast food. Who gets sick of fast food? We know it's not good for us. Even if we're getting fast food salads like the Subway I had the other day, it was a great option for Subway, but they still have their own dressings. I have no idea how many carbs are in those dressings. My granny didn't have any dressing, so I had to get some. And their chicken is I don't know what's in their chicken. It's always better to have our own meals. Salad is one of the best things you can do outside in the fast food, but you want to make sure there's no croutons. You want to make sure there's no creamy sauces, because most of those have thickeners in them. So anyway, all right, this is looking fantastic. I'm going to go ahead now and add the garlic. So we're going to put this minced garlic right in here to the onions. And we're going to stir that in. And we're going to let these garlic and onions cook for about 30 seconds, and then we're going to add our next ingredients. And we are literally almost done, guys. We're going to have this sauce simmering for a few minutes to thicken. And that is the longest part of this entire recipe, is thickening the sauce. All right. Oh, it smells so good. Can't even tell you, it smells amazing. So we're going to use some beef broth now. I've got a half a cup of beef broth. Half a cup of beef broth. Oops. And we're gonna add a full cup of heavy cream. Beef broth, heavy cream. We're gonna do a teaspoon of garlic powder. And a teaspoon of fresh basil. If you want to use dried basil, you can. But we're going to do a teaspoon of basil. We're making the basil cream sauce now. And we're going to stir this together. So we have that one small onion diced and browned in the butter and avocado oil we used. Then we just added a half a cup of beef broth, a full cup of heavy cream, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of basil. And we're going to simmer this. You know what I forgot to do? There is one other thing I need to do, and that is get my cheese ready. So we're going to be doing some, I had my pork chop on it. We're going to be cutting up some or shredding up some Parmesan cheese. We want about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. You can use more or less if you want to, but I'm going to do a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. We're going to put that right into it as soon as it starts to simmer. We want this to simmer to get thicker, and then when it gets to that consistency you want, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of cheese. And then I've got parsley over here, and we're going to do 2 tablespoons of parsley. And the last step will just be to add the pork chops right back into the sauce. As a matter of fact, if you wanted your pork chops to cook just a couple more minutes, they can actually cook in that sauce to thicken up the sauce. And that's not a bad idea if you want to do that. Mine are pretty much done. I will put them in there in just a second though. You can use a chicken. You can use a chicken thermometer. You can use a kitchen thermometer if you need to do that for your pork chops, or you can just cut them and look at them. You know what it looks like when your pork chops are done. And we're just going to let this simmer so you guys can see it. It looks really good, don't it? Yes, looks delicious, they said. Ooh, all that garlic. Your BS should be amazing. Blood sugar? I hope that means blood sugar. Let's see, barbecue chicken tenders and yellow squash. Yum. Whoops. What's that say? Is that enough meat for Ricky? I don't know, Tina. He'll probably, he's definitely going to have 2 pieces because I cooked 4. And they're pretty small, so I'm going to at least have 1 piece. If I only get 1, I'm getting the thickest one. But yeah, he would eat all 4 of those if I put it on a plate for him. That's just a growing man for you. He could eat that whole thing of pork chops all by himself. But he's going to share with me because he has to. All right, we're just simmering this, guys. The faster you cook it as far as the heat, the faster it's going to thicken. You don't want it to burn though, so a low heat is really all you need. And this is just going to simmer until it gets a little bit thicker, and you can see the difference. So this is beginning phases. See, that's just basically water. It's the beef broth and the heavy cream, and it's just basically water. As this continues to simmer, it's going to thicken up. And as soon as I feel it's a little thick, I'm going to go ahead and add our Parmesan cheese, and I'm doing about a cup of Parmesan cheese. And then we're going to add some parsley, 2 teaspoons of fresh parsley. And then we're going to, actually we're going to do 2 tablespoons. I said teaspoons, 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley. And then we're going to add the pork chops, and that is it. We're going to put them pork chops inside the sauce. And make sure the sauce is covering those pork chops really good, and then it was going to be ready to go. You know what, I forgot to... Let me check on my Brussels sprouts real fast. And if you guys have questions, put them in there. What else will you have with the pork chops? We are doing a side of Brussels sprouts. Made your cheeseburgers again. Yum. You're talking about the chicken cheeseburger or the chicken... I can't remember. I know what you're talking about, though. Those chicken burgers with the barbecue ranch sauce. Oh, my gosh. Those are so good. I think that's what you're talking about. And that makes me want to have it again. And we've had it a lot. Let me check on these Brussels sprouts so you guys can see what they look like. Oh, yes. So I might not have put just enough avocado oil in here because you can see they're a little brown. So I'm going to go ahead and drizzle just a little bit more oil because you don't want them to be crispy. You want them to be delicious. So just a little bit more oil. Another way you can tell is get your spatula and see if they're moving around on your baking dish. If they're not, that means they're sticking and you need a little bit more oil. But we just washed our Brussels sprouts, cut them in half, put salt and pepper, and heavily drizzled with avocado oil. Just add a little more, and we're going to put these back in the oven. As soon as a fork goes through them, they're done, and I guarantee you they're done. Nope, a couple more minutes. We're going to put them right back in. And that is our side dish with the pork chops. All right, I'm going to turn this down because it's really way too hot. All right, this is looking good. Now, see the difference? It was just really thin water, and now it's thickening up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and put in our Parmesan cheese. I got a whole cup of Parmesan cheese. You can do half if you want to. I like to shred up my own blocks. It tastes so much better. And then we're going to turn this down on super low heat because it's too hot. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of parsley. Fresh parsley, 2 tablespoons. I think that's pretty much this whole thing, if I remember right. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so yummy. This is going to be yummy. All right, let's stir it up, and then we're fixing to add those. Oh, it's too thick now. Too thick. Pull it off. Oh, I forgot to burn it. Keep forgetting my video. All right, and now we're going to add those pork chops right back in here. And we can continue to let it simmer if we want to. Again, the longer you simmer, the thicker the sauce gets. But really, this is it, guys. You want to make sure those pork chops are all the way done. We want to make sure they're done before we even take them off the skillet in the first place. But if you had just a little doubt, or you want to cook them just a couple more minutes to get them hot again, just put it back on a very low simmer and let them go. Look how beautiful this looks. Can y'all see that? Let me just pick it up over here. Look how pretty that is. I mean, hello, that looks amazing. I'm super excited to eat it. And I'm going to put a little bit of the sauce on top of all 4 pork chops, and holy cow, this just looks amazing. Super excited. I love new dishes. I will let you guys know if we don't like it. I always am very honest. I will be posting a picture after we finish our meal of the plated dinner with the recipe again. And if it's delicious, it will be going into my recipe blog. I love the recipe blog. And if you guys don't have it yet, you will have it tonight because it will be posted on my page with this meal if this is delicious. If you don't have it yet, I'd be glad to send it to you, though. Just put blog in the comments. Ooh, it's going to be yummy, yummy. It looks delicious. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. You have an awesome night. I think I answered all of your questions. Keep it simple. Taco seasoned beef, topped with lettuce, tomato. Oh, Judy, I'm not even going to say that out loud because Ricky begged me for taco salads. And I said, baby, I'm only going to cook like 2 or 3 times this week. Like, I don't want a taco salad. And he said, please, I want a taco salad. And I said, I want to try something new. So I can't say that out loud because Ricky loves taco salads and he would eat it every single night if I'd fix it. I would eat a grilled cheese every night and he would eat taco salad every single night and we'd be good. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. Y'all have an awesome night and I will see you later. Bye.